Vacuum Oil Company, marketers of the new double-powered Mobil gas, presents Mobil Song. Mobil Song, the stories and songs of the makers of music, starring Glenda Raymond.
Tonight in Mobil Song, we give you the story of the immortal lovers.
I love to go riding with Daddy, and he always takes me, of course. He stops for his gas and his oil at the sign of the Flying Red Horse.
Oh, the service is friendly, so friendly you'll see, and everything's clean and so neat. They polish your windshield, check water and oil. It's service you simply can't beat.
It's fun to go riding with Daddy,
And I love to take you, of course. And it's fun to stop in for the service we get at the sign of the Flying Red Horse.
Change to Mobil gas, the only gasoline that's double-powered with Mobil power compound and highest anti-knock rating. For up to 25% extra power, change to double-powered Mobil gas.
In the year 1836 in Paris, the young soprano Giulia Grisi sang before a distinguished audience.
Una voce poco fa qui nel cor mi risuona. Il mio cor ferito è già indor, o che il piago si l'indomio sarà, lo giurai, la vincerà. Si l'indomio sarà, lo giurai, si la vincerà. Il tuttore passerà, io l'ingegno guizzerò, alla fin s'acchiserà, il cammino resterà. Si l'indomio sarà, lo giurai, lo vincerà. Si l'indomio sarà, lo giurai. Io sono docile, sono rispettosa, sono obbediente, dolce e amorosa. Mi lascio reggere, mi fa guidar, mi fa guidar. Ma se mi tocca ora vieni debole, sarò una vipera, sarò e 100 giorni prima di cerchi, farò giocare e 100 troppi
Julia, you were magnificent.
Oh, thank you, Monsieur Gautier. You are most kind.
Kind? When you have given us so much pleasure. No, my dear, it is you who have been kind.
But not kind enough, alas.
Who is this?
One of your greatest admirers, Julia. May I present the Count of Mercy?
This is the supreme moment of my life.
Why do you say that?
Because at last I am speaking to a goddess.
With feet of unmistakable clay.
You see her? She is as modest as she is beautiful and talented. I leave you to her tender mercies.
Monsieur Gautier has been a very good friend to me.
And to me also, in bringing me to your side.
Why do you look at me like that?
Can you ask?
You make me confused.
Are you so unused to admiration?
I hardly know you.
We'll remedy that.
Are you a real count?
The Nelsies received their patent of nobility from Charlemagne. And since then, the male members of the family have made it a rule to marry only beautiful women.
Are you married?
Not yet. But I think my time has come.
It was a whirlwind courtship, and Julia, swept off her feet, soon capitulated and became the Countess de Melcy. For a time she was very happy. And then there came signs of trouble to follow.
Julia, my love, when do you give your next concert?
Oh, I don't know, Raoul. I haven't thought about singing since we were married.
But you must think about it.
Why?
It would not be right to waste a gift like that. Besides,
Yes.
think of the money you can earn.
Oh, but that doesn't matter anymore.
Does not matter. What do you mean, Julia?
Well, now that I'm married...
Now that you're married, it's more important than ever that you should make some money.
I don't understand.
It's quite simple, my dear. I mean that now there are two to keep instead of one. And you know how extravagant I am.
Oh, Raoul, for a moment I thought you were serious.
Of course I'm serious, Julia. I'm penniless. I haven't any money at all. So if I'm to go on living in the style to which I've become accustomed, well, I'm afraid you'll just have to go out and earn some more money. More money, Julia.
But I haven't any.
Get some, then.
How?
In the only way you know how. Go out and sing for money.
But, Raoul...
Go out and sing for money, Julia. It's all you're good for, my dear. Is that the best you could do, Julia?
Yes. It's not bad for one concert.
Rubbish. You could give a whole series of concerts.
Well, aren't you ashamed to accept money from me?
Ashamed? Why should I be?
Well, after all, I'm a woman.
And you have a voice, Julia. A wonderful voice. It's an asset, my dear. An asset to both of us.
But aren't you ever going to try to earn some money?
Are you mad, my dear? Why should I have to do that? I haven't any talents at all, except perhaps the ability to know a good investment when I see one.
Raoul, I'm leaving you.
Your what?
This position can't be endured any longer. I'm going away.
Indeed. And what do you think I'm going to do?
That isn't any of my business.
Oh, yes it is. I'll soon make you realize that.
What do you mean?
I won't bandy words with you, Julia. I leave the rest to my legal advisors.
I
I'm afraid I've some bad news for you, Countess.
Oh, don't call me that, please. I am Madame Julia Greasy from now on.
Very well, madame. But the news is still bad.
Oh, what is it?
The Count is bringing an action against you.
What kind of action?
He's claiming 10,000 francs a year.
For what?
For nothing. But as your husband, he has the right to seize any money you earn.
What can I do?
Perhaps a divorce could be arranged? Would you be agreeable to that, madam?
Agreeable? I'd give anything to be rid of that man. Anything at all.
So a divorce was arranged, under the terms of which the Count was not only to have his 10,000 francs a year, but also the earnings from an ironworks owned by the unfortunate Julia. For some time she kept to the bargain, but eventually found the strain too great and ceased making any payments to the Count. The result was inevitable.
I regret to inform you, Madame Greasy, that the Count de Mercy has entered suit against you, claiming an amount of 27,500 francs.
I can't pay it. I've hardly any money at all.
I'm afraid you'll have to satisfy the court about that.
No, I'm going away. I'm going to England.
I'm instructed to tell you, madame, that if you attempt to leave Paris, you'll be arrested.
Is there no one who'll help me? Haven't I just one friend in the world?
As the next few months went by, Julia Greasy was to ask that question over and over again, and each time the answer seemed to be in the negative. But a friend was to come into her life, a friend whose influence and advice was to mean a great deal to her in the years to come. However, before we hear that part of the story, here's some advice for all of us.
Ladies and gentlemen, I can assure you that something wonderful will happen to your car the very first time you use the new Mobil Gas, the only double-powered gasoline in Australia. You'll get smoother engine performance with Mobil Gas. You'll get up to 25% more power with Mobil Gas. You'll get terrific knock-free acceleration at signals and in traffic. And what's also important, with Mobil Gas you'll get the best mileage you've ever had from your car. Therefore, might I suggest that the next time you want gasoline, go to the white Mobil service station under the sign of the Flying Red Horse and fill up with the new Mobil Gas. Test it yourself in your own car or truck. You'll find it's the greatest gasoline that has ever been available in this country.
The case of Melcy versus Melcy was one of the biggest sensations of the day, and the court was packed with sightseers, all anxious to see and hear the famous singer in this most unusual setting.
You claim, Count de Mercy, that you are entitled to a percentage of the earnings of your former wife?
I do, most certainly.
You are content to rely on a woman to keep you in luxury.
Why does she think I married her?
From my own observation, Count de Mercy, I should say that there are few more beautiful women alive. Would you agree with me there?
I suppose so, but her looks meant nothing to me.
You married her only because of the money she was able to earn by her singing.
Yes.
Countess de Mercy.
I prefer to be called Madame Julia Greasy.
Very well. Do you deny that several years ago you signed an agreement under the terms of which your husband was to receive certain monies?
No, I do not deny it, but it was forced on me.
It was forced on you, you say. You mean, I suppose, that it was the only way in which you could persuade the Count de Mercy to agree to a divorce?
Yes, but I haven't been able to do as well in these last few years.
Why? Is your voice gone?
No, it's as good as ever.
Then what has been the trouble?
Politics.
You are not serious, Madame Lucy.
Yes. There have been changes of government, riots, almost another revolution.
Silence, silence. We'll have no speeches of that kind, if you please.
But it's the truth.
Be quiet. Counsel, proceed with your examination.
Yes, Monsieur le Magistrate. With pleasure. Now, Madame, answer me this. In St. Petersburg last year, did you not receive by public subscription a coronet worth 120,000 francs?
Yes, but...
Didn't you earn 30,000 francs this year in London?
Yes, but out of that I...
Isn't it a fact that you are the highest paid singer in the world?
I don't know about that.
And the jewels you are wearing at this moment are worth a fortune.
You do not understand. I'm simply trying to obtain justice.
Do you suggest that this court will deny you justice?
No, I didn't say that.
What did you mean then?
I don't know what I meant.
The court is adjourned.
How are you feeling today, madame?
Oh, not very well. I couldn't possibly attend court again.
It won't be necessary. I've just come from there.
What happened?
A most unusual thing. A letter was read, protesting against the way you have been treated.
But I didn't write any letter.
No, madame. The writer said that he had not had the pleasure of your acquaintance, but felt himself bound to speak on your behalf.
Is it possible that I've found a friend at last?
One would think so, madame. At any rate, here's the letter. You may read it for yourself.
And the writer's name?
A very distinguished one. The Marchese de Candia.
I don't know him.
He ends his letter with these words, which you may find of some comfort. The magnificent trinity of her voice, her genius, and her beauty should be sufficient to prove to the world that here is indeed a great soul. On her behalf, I claim, nay, I demand, not only justice, but full recognition of her services to this country and the world.
Give me the letter. I'll treasure it always.
I said, madame, that I hoped it would give you comfort, for that is what you need now.
You mean the court has ruled against me?
You have been ordered to pay the whole sum claimed.
But that means ruin.
I'm sorry, madame. I did my best.
Yes. Yes, you are not to blame. No one is to blame except myself. But believe me, I shall never trust any man again. Unless, perhaps, it should be a man like the writer of this letter, the Marchese de Candia.
The result of the court case was a bitter blow to Julia, who had then to start all over again and rebuild her fallen fortunes. Fortunately, her voice was better than ever, and she sang night after night to wild and enthusiastic audiences. And it was in the theatre one day that she met a young tenor, who was handsome enough to turn the head and capture the heart of any woman. However, Julia steeled herself against temptation, and behaved as coldly as she knew how.
Your name?
Mario?
Mario? What else?
Mario will do.
You're going to sing with me?
If you permit.
Why do you look at me like that?
Because...
No, don't answer. I asked that question once before, to my sorrow.
Oh, madame.
No more of that. Let us get on with the music. The duet from Rigoletto?
Very well.
Come then, I'm ready. Begin, please.
Son of the soul, divine inspiration is love that paradise to all creation. fame and power, the laurel of glory, when love breathes over them an empty story. One power rules over all, one power transcending. 'Tis love, 'tis love, our destinies with those of angels blending. Oh, fairest, love me then as I adore thee. Angels might envy me if thou wert mine. Angels might envy me if thou wert mine. Fulfill my maiden dream, oh, maiden mine. Ah, yes, be mine. Angels might envy me if thou wert mine. Angels might envy me if thou wert mine. Oh, yes, fulfill my maiden dream. I hear thee adore thee. Oh, yes, fulfill my maiden dream. I hear thee wert mine.
You have a fine voice, Mario.
And you are divine. Will you teach me how to sing?
Come and see me tomorrow.
May I say, madame, that these last few weeks have been a great joy to me.
Oh? Why?
Because of you.
What do you mean?
I mean that you are not only a great artist, but a wonderful woman.
What do you know of me?
More than you think.
Let me warn you, my friend. I'm proof against all forms of blandishment.
And against love.
Love?
I tell you, Julia, I adore you.
Enough of that. I won't listen to another word.
Why?
Once I gave my heart into another's keeping, and never ceased regretting it.
Do you think all men are the same?
Yes. Except, perhaps, one I could name.
Who is he?
One who, when I needed a friend, spoke for me. It's true that he spoke in vain, but I have never forgotten him.
His name?
The Marchese de Condia.
An aristocrat.
I suppose so. I've never met him.
But you love him.
I think I do.
How could you love a stranger?
Does one question these things?
Julia, never mind this unknown. Think of me.
No, Mario. No, it couldn't be possible.
But you don't hate me.
Hate you? No, of course not. And if things were different...
Different? In what way, Julia?
If those words had been yours.
What words?
The magnificent trinity of her voice, her genius and her beauty should be sufficient to prove to the world
that here indeed is a great soul.
Mario!
I claim, nay, I demand, not only justice, but full recognition of her services to this country and the world.
You wrote that letter? You were my unknown friend.
I admired you, Julia, even before I had come to know you. And now, I can give you more than friendship. I offer you my love. Will you accept?
Gladly, my dear. Oh, gladly.
The Marchese di Candia, a scion of one of Europe's noblest families, sang under the name of Mario and married the world's greatest soprano, Giulia Grisi. They lived together for 30 happy years and became the greatest singing team in history. True subject for our distinguished series, Mobil Song.
Mobil gas, you get that smooth and even power with Mobil gas. Your starts are quick when you fill up with Mobil gas. Your driving's fun if you're the one who goes for Mobil gas. You get all the mileage that your car can deliver and balanced performance, of course. You save on that quality high gasoline. Just look for the flying red horse. Insist on Mobil gas. Go get that smooth and even power with Mobil gas. You always save when you fill up with Mobil gas. For quality economy, just ask for Mobil gas.
Fill up with Mobil gas. Mobil gas is double powered to give up to 25% more engine power and extra mileage too. Double powered Mobil gas.
Mobil Song was written by John Ormiston Reed. The role of Giulia Grisi was played by Margaret Mushmore. The narrator was Roland Strong, the producer, Dorothy Crawford. The program starred Glenda Raymond and Mobil Quest Grand Finalist Edwin Liddell. The Mobil Theatre Orchestra was conducted by Hector Crawford. Mobil Song, presented for your enjoyment by the Vacuum Oil Company and your local Mobil service station.
Yes, for Mobil gas, Mobil oil and Mobil lubrication service, call at your friendly Mobil service station under the sign of the Flying Red Horse.